Hi, I'm Matthew Lasar. John Quincy Adams wrote that speech and spoke that speech to an audience in 1821. Historians call it the Monsters to Destroy speech. He wrote it before he became President of the United States in 1825. He spoke it before the House of Representatives as the Secretary of State for then President James Monroe. And it's generally interpreted as both a statement of policy, a statement of the foreign policy of the United States of America, and a warning of what would happen if the United States went down the imperial road. What I tried to do in that short excerpt from the address was find art from the past that would reflect what Adams thought was good about the United States up until 1821, and then post photographs that I suspect would confirm Adams's hopes and warnings up until the present. I think that the photographs are mostly self-explanatory, but here are some details and some backstory to the paintings that I used in this clip. Peter Frederick Rothermel painted Patrick Henry speaking before the Virginia Legislative Assembly. His painting depicts the famous Revolutionary War patriot opposing the Stamp Act, a British tax on everything from newspapers to playing cards. Looking at the work, you can almost hear Patrick Henry defiantly saying, "If this be treason, make the most of it." And check out all these scandalized Virginia legislators whispering to each other as Henry speaks. Next, we see a painting titled "The Signing of the Treaty of Ghent, Christmas Eve, 1814. That's John Quincy Adams himself shaking hands with a representative of the British Empire after both men signed the peace deal that ended the War of 1812. Actually, it didn't quite end the war. A British armada stationed in the Gulf of Mexico, not knowing that the treaty had been signed, attacked New Orleans 2 weeks later and was famously repelled by General Andrew Jackson, who rode his victory to the White House in 1828. Next, here is Benjamin West's unfinished painting of the signers of the Treaty of Paris in 1783, which settled the American Revolution. In the center of the group, you see Benjamin Franklin, and to his right is John Adams, John Quincy Adams' father. He soon to become the second president of the United States. But you ask, why is the right side of the painting blank? And the answer is because the British negotiators refused to sit for the portrait. Sore losers. In the speech you just heard, John Quincy Adams declared that even if he sympathized with the goals of revolutionaries around the world, he didn't think the USA should get involved in their affairs. A year before Adams gave his speech, Mexico declared its independence from Spain. Here's a famous mural of the leaders of that movement. The gray-haired man in the middle is Father Miguel Hidalgo y Castilla, who initiated the revolt but never lived to see its completion in 1821. 4 years later, Greece revolted against the Ottoman Empire, and it was a big cause in Europe and elsewhere. The artist, Johann Georg Christian Perlberg, painted one of its legendary, although not necessarily real battles, a skirmish that supposedly took place right next to the ancient temple of Zeus. And finally, we see a moment from the Haitian Revolution of 1804 by the painter Jean-Pierre Ulrich. It is titled General Francois Capois at the Battle of Vertier. That is the battle that expelled French forces from Haiti and established the Haitian Revolution as the most successful slave uprising in history. As president, John Quincy Adams couldn't recognize Haiti. He simply couldn't establish a treaty recognizing Haiti because there were too many slaveholders in the Senate and they wouldn't let him do it. But he did open commerce and trade relations with the country and signed treaties with Latin American nations that had just abolished slavery. Following his one term in the White House, John Quincy Adams ran for Congress and represented Massachusetts in the House of Representatives for years. As a congressman, Adams fought the so-called gag rule, which barred Congress from recognizing anti-slavery petitions in the House or the Senate. Adams passionately opposed the Mexican-American War, in which the USA took by force 1/3 of Mexico's land in 1838, and he defended a group of escaped slaves before the Supreme Court in the famous 1840 Amistad case. Roll years of promise, rapidly roll round, John Quincy Adams declared towards the end of his life, till not a slave shall on this earth be found. He died, John Quincy Adams died in 1848. Here's a photograph he had taken of himself, a daguerreotype, as they were called back then. He was the first president of the United States to pose for a photograph.